Again, another meeting I attended again yesterday, and again my meeting at the Otago Regional Council. But this will give you some indication of local government, but also of maybe the Met Service as well, and government in general. My regional council, like every regional council in New Zealand, is required under law to have a pest management plan, Josh. Now, a pest management plans are quite important because New Zealand has quite a number of invasive pests that destroy flora and fauna, but also inhibit human activity as well. And it can even be things like, what would be a good example? Lagrosiphon, which is a weed that's taken over many of the lakes in New Zealand, and now requires to be routinely sprayed with quite serious chemicals to bring under control. Or it can be golden clams, which have come in on ships from Asia and are now seeking to take over wherever they are located. Or it can be things like more prosaic ones like rabbits, which in central Otago and in Canterbury are particular problems and destroy millions of dollars worth of grazing land every year. All right, through to wild pigs, which are now starting to invade what are known as peri-urban areas, lifestyle properties and things like that. Through to Didymo, that clogs up rivers and streams and things like that. So there's an enormous range of pests. I think our pest management plan has about 60, for example, and every regional council in New Zealand is required to have a plan. And as I said, it's required by the government, central government, to have one. Now, and I'll tell you what, magpies aren't there, Josh, and they bloody well should be. I'll tell you something else that's not there, Josh, on our one. Feral cats. Okay.
Really?
So,
Feral cats aren't on there?
no.
Well, that would have been a major issue down your way.
Well, magpies at mating time are as well.
God, yeah.
Just quiet. Anyhow, there's lots of things that aren't there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, there are 60 odd, so we'll deal with that. Well, my council yesterday reviewed its pest management plan for the coming year. And it got a review, an external consultant in, because I had been moaning ever since I got elected, so what's this, 9 years ago, that the Otago Regional Council pest management plan was a joke. It was a complete bureaucratic gobbledygook boondoggle. And that's probably praising it. Because although it had a plan, okay, the Otago Regional Council, to either destroy or manage pests in its region, it didn't actually measure whether it's successful or not. So just imagine this for a moment. You're putting hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a year to try and combat pests in your particular region. And listen, it could be Bay of Plenty, it could be Taranaki, it could be Hawke's Bay, it could be Northland, it could be, well, in this particular case, Otago. You're spending millions of dollars to combat pests, with millions of dollars spent on staff as your primary cost in your particular region. But every year, you don't actually measure how effective you've been, Josh. How many pests have we killed? How much land have we now brought back into production? How many swimming areas are now safe from invasive or aquatic pests in particular? All those sorts of things, Josh. You know what I mean? But,
yeah.
So for the last 9 years, the Otago Regional Council had a pest management plan that it can't tell you, despite spending these millions of dollars, whether any of its operations or its management or its funding has made a blind bit of difference to pests at all. In other words, they don't know between 2016 and 2025 if there are more rabbits or less, if there are more aquatic invasive species or less. And if they do have them, let's just try rabbits as an example, They can't tell you, in actual fact, if they're having any effect, the pest management plans, upon reducing the population or not. I mean, that's sort of, it's, it's just sort of madness, really, isn't it? But welcome to local government New Zealand and the Otago Regional Council in specific. But so yesterday we're having this discussion, and I've been arguing, well, it's time we tested it. And so sure enough, a report comes in from external consultants to be independently testing whether or not, you are killing pests in your region. And it says, actually, you don't know. Well, which is what I've been saying for the last 9 years, because you don't actually hold any data that determines whether or not you know if it's working or not, which ironically took you probably about $25,000, $35,000, $40,000 to get serious external consultants in, which just Logic 101 would have told you. And it's been available, that Logic 101, for the last 9 years, and presumably it'll be available for the next 9 years. So what, having received this report, does the Otago Regional Council do yesterday? Okay. It says fine to the draft pest plan that is in it for the next 12 months, which does all the same things wrong that it's been doing for the last 9, despite the report of the external consultant. It's going to do exactly the same the next 12 months as it's done for the last 9 years. Brilliant, isn't it? Seriously. Brilliant. I mean, that's just stunning stuff. This is why ratepayers throughout New Zealand just shake their head and also get a bit aggrieved when they pay exorbitant amounts of rates to councils who can measure outputs so they can tell you what they're doing. We've got a plan. We're doing inspections, all right? We're not doing any enforcement because, good God, that's real work. But we are doing inspections, And we've measured the number of inspections we're doing for pests in our region, for example, and we did that many inspections, tick. Now, in local government parlance, or in government parlance, it's known as an output. So you measured what you're going to do. We were going to do 250 inspections this year, for example, and then you measure, did you do 250? You did 260. Oh my God, tick, tick, How many pests did you kill? Oh, that's an outcome. We don't measure outcomes, which is, did it work? We measure outputs. Welcome to local government, people. And this is why it's a boondoggle of all boondoggles, and you're paying literally millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of rates to ineffective organisations to churn up strategies, plans, visions, and all the other crap that doesn't make a blind bit of difference to where you're living. I'm glad I've got that off.